Starting in 2 minutes.
Family mode.
We will be starting in less than 2 minutes. 2-minute warning, everyone. Just wanted to let you know that we'll be starting in 2. Welcome, everyone. We're going to start in 1 minute. 1 minute. So we're going to start in 1 minute. And thank you so much for being here at the Catalyst Live webinar, the Catalyst Call is the age-old name, mastermind and coaching session for January 18th, 2016. Welcome to the year of the sphere. This is the year for your sphere, and today we are going to connect with the anatomy of the ultimate phone call. And this is the system for every database call you will ever make. So I'm very excited about today's webinar. Once again, we are covering the anatomy of the ultimate phone call today, and I'm going to jump right into it. Thank you so much for being here. As a sound check, let me ask you, please, in the questions box, say good afternoon, or if you're on the West Coast, say good morning, and then where you're calling in from, or where you are dialing in from today. So, where are you? Sound check. Dan Magnano, wouldn't miss it for the world. Chris Huerman from Daytona Beach. Will I see you tomorrow, Chris? Will I see you tomorrow? I am in sunny Orlando. Lisa Booth from Orlando, Florida. Dan is in Apollo Beach, Florida. This is kind of a Florida show here so far. And Cynthia Bear is calling from the ATL. And Cynthia, I think today's kind of a special day for my friend Cynthia Bear. Isn't today your birthday? If I have that wrong, I apologize, but I could have sworn I remember January 18th is Bobby Kirshner and Cynthia Bear's birthday, who are coaching clients of ours. So if I'm wrong, I apologize. Tell me if I'm right. Linda Austin from Melbourne, Florida. St. Louis, Lori Williams. And Dory, are you following me? I feel like you're following me. You're on all my calls. Dory from Fort Lauderdale. Orlando, Florida is Eric Soto. By the way, Dory, I saw your name mentioned like 8 times with a Fort Lauderdale referral on the internet not too long ago. So congratulations for being so referable. Daytona Beach, Mary Matero. And Alyssa Moore is here from St. Louis. And Folsom, California, Scott Kirk. Angie Harness. Marisol Jusino from Orlando. Wendy Lant from Orlando. Good afternoon, mate. Fred Collis from Clearwater, Florida. Good afternoon from St. Louis. Thomas Durfee. Toronto, Canada. Heather Lemieux. Christopher Gonzalez is here. Sonoma. How beautiful is that area? Nada's here. Andrea is here. And Christopher Gonzalez from Scottsdale, Arizona. Tampa, Florida. Melissa. Cynthia Bear's birthday is today. Yay. Good afternoon from Plantation with Karen Wright with the Sharon and Karen team. And Central Florida is Kathy Collins, Dennis Hearing from South Florida, and Karen Arlick from Claremont, Florida, and on and on. Lisa Medford from Hilton Head. I missed you. Lisa, I do know that you said hello this morning, and I barely caught it. So now, all of you have Blessings books. You're ready to go. Hopefully you're keeping notes in the Blessings book as we go through Catalyst. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to just keep scooting here, right? So thank you so much for being on. Listen, we have a live session coming up on February 1st at 2 p.m. Eastern, and I know our schedules. Our schedules was February 1st, our schedule said February 1st and February 29th of February. February's were spread out a little bit because of some national events. Well, here's the thing, is we are going to do a bonus Catalyst session for you at 2 p.m. on Monday, February 15th. So it's actually every 2 weeks from now on, right, is you are having a Catalyst session. So I'm very excited about those sessions coming up. So please mark your calendar, February 1st, February 15th, and February 29th at 2 p.m. We are bringing you, and just so you know, it's Valentine's Day. It's I Love You a Latte month, right? So we're going to bring you some really cool things about how to show your love and how to receive the love in February. Mastermind Summit, mastermindsummit.com, more coming out on that soon. Now, today's agenda, the Facebook post, right? We definitely want to get that out, the Facebook post, and then the anatomy of the ultimate database call, which I'm going to just share with you very quickly, and then the January call, which I'm already starting to do, and the results are just incredible. So, and then we'll have hopefully some time for open Q&A. So, you know, today is a special day. Today is Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday as well. At the very least, it's the day we are celebrating Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. And, you know, he has, this is one of my favorite quotes in the world. Nevertheless, it's by him. And that is, you know, you have this thirst to be first. You know, when people are announcing like the top 10 agents or the top 10 title companies or whatever, you want to be number one. You do. You want to be first, and that's okay, right? Keep feeling the need for being first. But Martin Luther King Jr. says, but I want you to be the first in love. I want you to be the first in moral excellence. I want you to be the first in generosity. And I have to tell you, that's just such a powerful statement for today and for now. You know, today is about giving massive value first, proactive generosity first. And there's power in that, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, power. Here's the thing. Let's say somebody is generous to you and you, quote unquote, return the favor, right? So who has more, quote unquote, power in that exchange, right? Is it the person who gave first, or is it the person who reciprocated? Who has more power? Who is more compelled, right? The force of nature is in the favor of the one who gives massive value first, because the world, the universe, will want to even the score, right? You feel that way. When somebody's given a gift to you or whatever it may be, you're looking to reciprocate. Well, that's the power, is when you're first in generosity, it doesn't necessarily mean the best. It just means be first. Give massive value first. Be first in generosity is phenomenal advice. And here's the thing. Being first in generosity will also indicate that you're first in moral excellence and you're also first in love, right? Being first in love is very ephemeral. It's very abstract, right? But generosity is concrete. Generosity is showing your love. You know, we say generosity is love in action. So let's put your love in action with generosity, right? So before we get going too far, I want to make sure that we get this posted for today so they can be working for you. Now, I also know that some of you have been very, very good at getting this posted every Monday. And, you know, Nevin is rocking it. I mean, rocking it. And I'm guessing that he did not rock it at the very first one. I'm guessing that he rocketed after 5, maybe, posting, right? Or 6, or 10, or whatever it may be. And just so you know, what I just did is that is now in the chat box so that you can highlight it, copy it, and then paste it into your Facebook, right? We can't make it any easier, people, right? We can't make it any easier for you to get referrals. So listen, and some of you are like, yeah, I see it, and then you don't post it. Well, listen, you're at 100% freedom, but what's the risk of posting it? Yeah, maybe it hurts your feelings when you don't get a like or comment, but maybe they're just waiting to see if it's real, right? Maybe people are just looking and they're like, does he really mean it? And don't be afraid to put in here, I'm growing my referral network, I mean it. You know, especially if you have had a career focused on always be closing. If you've been in Boiler Room and or The Wolf on Wall Street and or Glengarry Glen Ross, you have been the star of those, then you're going to have some makeup work to do with the friends, family, people around you, even past clients, right? So then the key here is when they like or comment. So it says James Thomas likes your comment, right? bring them into the conversation and say, hey, James, comma, how can I help you? Notice that that is part of the presentation here, right? Part of the question. So when they comment, listen, it's just about having a conversation with them. But please note, this is a referral conversation. Let me ask you before I get rolling with Raw and the January call, do you have any questions at all on the Facebook status update post that we have covered for the last 3 months, right? Because why do you think Michael Mayer is covering this every month, right? The reason I cover it every week and every month is because it works, is because it truly gets referrals. It attracts referrals. It makes you more referable. And that's really, all I can do is make you referable, right? All I can do is help you be referable. And then once you start getting the referrals, it's up to you. Isn't that the truth? Right? So let's see, any questions here? Yeah, I find I get more response when I include a picture with the message. And you know what? First, some people do react better with visuals. You know, try a video, right? Don't even just try an image. Do a video, or take a video that you have permission to use. Drop that in there, and then also use the language. Right? I don't care how you post it, right? I mean, it could be something as simple, just so everybody knows. Great, Rachel, everybody is going to thank you in a second. Rachel Benefente, there is a picture, a photo on the Referral Guru site, right? My page. If you go to photos, there is a photo that says I love referrals, and it has our heart-shaped logo, the Gen logo. Here's the thing, hit right click on that photo and hit save image as, and then save it on your computer somewhere where you know where it's at, like desktop or documents, and save it as I love referrals. Then go to Facebook and post and post the same thing, and then share the photo. See what happens, right? How are we doing on time? 2:12. I was going to say, I can actually do that right now in less than like 3 or 4 minutes, right? Yeah, Heather Lemieux is saying, what should you say when someone likes it versus comments? Same thing I just said, right, is if James Thomas just liked it, I would say, hey, James, how can I help you, right, question mark. Or whatever I knew about James, right? Hey, James, how are the kids? You know, how can I help you? What are you looking for? Right? And then with a comment, they're gonna say something like, you know, you could give me a referral, or I have a referral for you, and then you just take the conversation from there, right? So, all right, so I'm gonna take a risk, and my team always loves it when I do this. I'm just kidding. They don't love it, because it's like, all right, so click, boom, here. Okay, boom. All right, and then we're going to go to here, and then you see what I'm doing, right? That's a Referral Guru site. Then I'm going to go to more, photos. See the photos, I scan down, cute, awesome, very nice, very cute, super cute in the middle, Max Mayer right there. Cool, nice, lots of fist bump Friday stuff, right? Kermit the Frog, you always got to have a Kermit the Frog picture. Awesome, are you listening to your customers? Give your best, I am awesome. Oh, look, what's this right here? All right, so this is the picture. I will, let's see if I can go down a little bit. Here we go. So I'm going to take this picture, right click. Actually, I'll just open it click on it, right click, save image as. I'll do desktop, right? Desktop, change the name because they always have funny names. I love referrals with 2 R's, not 3 R's. Save, all right? And then you go to, bang, homepage. Then you go to up, right? So I'm just going to do this. I'm literally doing this, right now. So upload photos, desktop. Anybody timing me? I feel like my son, right? He says, hey, watch, Daddy, how fast can I tie my shoes? Time me, right? I love referrals. There it is. Click. It's going up. Then somebody was nice enough to give me the copy and paste, so I just paste. My weekly referral goal is to give 10 referrals and receive 5 referrals. I'm growing my referral network. How can I help you? Exclamation. Who do you know who I can help? I'm here to help, right? Boom. And then we're going to go down, right? And publish. How long did that take me? It took me less than 3 minutes because I knew I started after 2:12, right? So, and then I close Facebook because I'm busy, right? Boom. Was that helpful? Tell me if that was helpful. Tell me if that was helpful in the questions box, right? Okay, excellent. I like the smiley faces. Yeah. Hey, why tell someone when you could just show someone, right? So, good stuff. If I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. I'm sure that's why you signed up to coach with me in the first place, is because you're looking at me and you're going, holy cow, if that guy can do it, I can do it, right? All right. Now, this is, well, you know what? Let me go previous page, right? All right. So let me ask you something, right? You know that you're supposed to be doing calls to your database. Why do you think most people, most agents, let's say, or most salespeople or business owners, why, you know, they know they're supposed to call people they know and their clients and things like that. Why do you think they don't call? Man, you guys are really fast. You guys knew what I was going to ask before I even asked it, didn't you? Right? Now, here's the thing, not cold calls, right? I think, why don't they just call their mom and call their brother and sister and call, you know, call their past clients and call current clients for that matter, right? So, all right, so we have selfish and lack of clarity, right? Absolutely, right? Image, oh wait, fear of rejection, right? They don't want to be pushy or salesy. Fear, right? Fear, don't know what to say. Fear, because you end up in too long of a conversation maybe. Your fear of, I mean, you know, what is too long of a conversation, right? So we have these fears. We have these things, you know, fear of bothering someone, right? And here's the thing, right? Don't want to bother them, whatever it may be. Well, here's the thing, right? Is it's all, in my estimation, it's all about value, right? It's all about value. And what I mean by value is that if there is value to the call, people will call. If you get something, like here's the thing. So you won't call your mom or your brother or sister, who are really likely, but when a radio show says first 15 callers get a night out at this steak restaurant, they get 7,000 calls for 15 spots. Isn't that interesting? Why is that? Well, there's value in the call. They're going to win a steak knife set, right? Or they're going to win steak, or they're going to win a night out, or they're going to win, you know, tickets to a concert. Isn't that interesting, right? We call when we are going to get value. So I want you to know what I'm about to share with you is epiphanous. It's something you might want to consider in your career, and I want you to embrace it because it's a life changer. This is a life changer, and it's raw. It's RAH, and some of you have heard it, but my question is, are you doing it? The structure of every great database call I've ever done, every one I've ever designed, has the flow of raw. A lot of you've heard the Great Retrace. Every single one of those calls is raw. The reason for my call is to express my appreciation. If you had not connected me to X, I would have never been connected to Y, and I would have never been referred to Z. So thank you, right? You've heard that. So here's the thing, right, is R is for the reason for your call. What is the reason for your call. And the reason could be as simple as just thinking about you, or drove through your neighborhood last night, or drove through your area last night, or honestly, the Chiefs were playing the Patriots, and you're a huge Patriots fan, so I thought of you last night, right? Or congratulations on the victory, Patriots and Broncos and Panthers and Cardinals, oh my, right? Now, the reason for the call, so here's one. Who's the biggest Arizona Cardinals fan you know? Who's the biggest Carolina Panther fan you know? Who's the biggest Denver Bronco fan you know? Who's the biggest New England Patriot fan you know? All right? Great reason for a call. Yeah, some of you are like, I'm the big, yeah, I get it. So here's the thing. So the reason for the call, and then the appreciation, right? So appreciation can be as simple as, I just love it how much you love that team. Or, it's just awesome that you are just so all in. You've been all in for the Cardinals for years. Even when, like, a Chiefs would go play the Cardinals, there'd be more Chiefs fans than there would be Cardinals fans in Arizona. Like Vikings, right? The Vikings are huge in Arizona. So anyway, I think the bottom line is you can just express it. What can you find to appreciate about that person? And then the H is for help. Ask for help and or advice. So in this case, it could be something as simple as, I'm developing my website, or I'm doing a new logo, or I'm developing my business by referrals. I really want to work your area. I'm looking for people to help. I'm looking to grow my network with really strong people. I'm looking to grow my business. Who's the best business person you know, right? So, what it does, I just gave you like 17 reasons how to express the appreciation and asking for help and or advice. And I want you to know that this is so let me ask you, right? So what is a reason that you could call someone? So just give me a reason. I want you to give me at least one reason that would make you call someone, right? Okay, could be something we see on a Facebook post, like a birthday, right? Birthday, Rachel Benavente. Birthday, Doug Campbell, right? So let's keep going with this. What else? What's a reason for a call to a past client, a friend, a family member? So home anniversary, or wedding anniversary, or friend anniversary, like they do. They owe you money, right? That would be a good reason for the call, absolutely. New pet or death of a pet. I was just thinking about you. Showed a home nearby. I did this morning. I called my handyman for getting connected to a window guy. I love that one, right? Get referral to advice for great service, right? Repairman, right? Thank them or just see how they're doing. New baby. Key thing they like that's in the news, absolutely, right? Severe weather in the area to see if they're okay, or if it already went through the area, just checking on them. Yeah. So, all of these, their sports team won a big game. What else? What else could we call about? Okay, so I'm going to add a few. We could give them an update on some advice they gave us, right? We could give them an update on something we had talked about before. So, update on neighborhood value. Yeah, Kathy Lamont, great one. We've had this before. Atlanta has had this. Kansas City's had this, where there's neighborhoods where something that was selling for 400, all of a sudden the neighborhood's getting 450 minimum because of something or another, right? It's just great school district change, something. Party invite, and you guys you're hitting the sweet spot, right? To let them know about an upcoming event is one of the greatest reasons in the history of the world for calling someone. And there's many powers to that. I'm not going to go into it. The home warranty company sent a notice they made a repair. Eric Soto, I want you to know I made hundreds of calls over 15 years because my Old Republic home warranty person would give me the cards for when they made a repair. And I was just calling, how was Old Republic? How was the service? Aren't you glad you had that service? We negotiated that in because I knew there'd be a time like this. Isn't that great? Right? Update on a referral. Great news. VA loans can now go up to 1.5 million, right? New listing in your neighborhood, thought of you, happy birthday, drove by their house, drove by their neighborhood, drove through their area. So we have lots of reasons to call, but we haven't made the calls. Well, so you're going to start making the calls from now on because of the H, right? So here's another thing, right? So let's think about your ideas for the reason, right? Thank you for sending me your Christmas card. Cute photos. And I don't know, Kathy, if you meant that for me, right? My kid's cute. What can I say, right? My wife's beautiful. So I am in some of those photos. I know I am. I think. Did she put me in? So here's the thing is you could actually tell everyone that sent you a Christmas card, you could call them and say thank you. So that leads us into the A, right? So what could we appreciate for the other person? So like Eric Soto, you said the home warranty company sent a notice they made a repair, right? So they gave you a postcard or they emailed you and said, hey, John Thompson got a new furnace for $2,400. So what could we appreciate about that person? Chris Heuerman, you're exactly right. In the Christmas card is we could appreciate their thoughtfulness. Absolutely. So Heather Lemieux. So if the reason for the call is I drove by their house, it looks amazing. What could we appreciate? Okay, let's say their house looks amazing. What could we appreciate about that person, that homeowner? Absolutely. Their home improvement talents, their meticulousness, their appreciation of real property, right? Their gardening skills, their landscaping skills, their pride in outside appearance, they're taking pride in the neighborhood, their pride of ownership, their creativity. You guys are getting it, right? You guys are getting it. So now let's go to the next one. And this is where I'm going to test your skills at this, right? And this is like any skill. It's hard before it's easy. And when it's easy, it's amazing. So the H is for help and or asking for advice. So in looking at what we've talked about as far as reasons and then expressing appreciation for something that they really have achieved or done or whatever, then what help can we ask for? What advice can we ask for or get from them? Yeah, so Chris Huberman says, could you tell me how you came up with that home improvement idea, right? You drive by the house, you express appreciation for their pride of ownership and how great it looks and taking pride in their neighborhood, you know, uh, how did you come up with that? Did you watch HGTV, a magazine, or what, a friend, or did you come up with it yourself, right? So that's excellent. So name of a landscaper, right? Vendors they used. And I will tell you that this is important. What we're covering right now is critical to your future as a referral-based business. And so we go to vendors, landscapers, and so on and so forth. Well, I'm going to get really curious. Notice where I want it to go. Where do I want the conversation to go? Where do I want every conversation to go? And the answer is referrals. That's right, Kathy Lawn. So here's the thing. So I'm looking at this, and I go to appreciation for their wonderful yard. My thought is somebody helped make that happen, and I want to find out about those people, right? So I find out, especially because I know a landscaper is going to be one of my best referral sources. So I find out from that they were referred to a landscaper. Okay, so what's my next step? So they were referred to a landscaper who helped them design this beautiful landscape. Okay, so let's keep going with this. Yeah, Angie has a question, but is there anything you would have? Yeah, Angie's talking about like what advice we could get, but I want to stay with the example I'm giving you. Is that all right? So we drove by the house, we were in the area showing homes, and their home looks like $1,000,000, and we compliment them on how great it looks, their pride of ownership, and then we say, you know, who helped you with that? And they say a landscaper. Where do I want to go? Rachel Benavente. Yes, I want an introduction to the landscaper. Would you mind referring them to me? Right? I want something else though. And some you guys, I see it clicking. I see it's like the light bulb is warming up. And listen, I'm not saying that in a condescending way. I'm just saying that what I'm saying is a huge aha, and we're warming up to it, right? And that is, you know, okay, so here's the thing. I want to know who the landscaper is, and I want to get an introduction to the landscaper. But ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to tell you is a difference maker for your business. Is I want to know who referred the landscaper to him. I want to know who referred the landscaper to him. Why do you think I want to know who the referral source is for the landscaper? Rachel, because they give referrals. Absolutely. But what else? Right? Now, here's the thing. Linda's like, because you did not refer them. That's right. But keep going, right? That's right. Dory, that person is a connector. Chris Heuerman says, because that person has influence. That's right. It's about who they know. And that's where I'm digging for, is because the person who referred the landscaper is someone I want to partner with, because when I partner with that person, the one I'm talking to is more likely to listen to me, right? Influencers partner together. The other thing is, if this person is listening to them about the landscaper, then guess what? Other people are probably listening to them about other things. And here's the thing I want you to get, right? Is it's not just another connection. This person who recommended the landscaper to the person you called, let's call him the influencer, right? The influencer who referred the landscaper to the client is the most important person here. And this is why. Because influencers, ladies and gentlemen, are rare. Influencers are a special breed. You know, the problem out there is we think everybody should be a referral source for us, right? But the truth is, only a handful of people are going to be naturally predestined and naturally, just like it's part of who they are, to give referrals. So we need to find more people like that. Does this make sense? Does this, and I hate saying that, but you're not in front of me, so I can't see your faces, right? Though, I will tell you, this is the best looking crew we've ever had on Catalyst. So, does this help? And I want you to know, I had none of this planned. Did I know you were going to say drive by a house as the reason to call? Did I say that the A, or appreciation, is the was going to be about landscaping? Did I say, you know, did we go down the path of asking for help was to talk about the landscaper and no, but you have to realize there's opportunity in every one of these calls. I would rather you make one of these calls than 100 calls. You know, I know there's a lot of challenges out there about making 100 calls in a day, but I'd rather you make one call that leads to an opportunity and a connection to an influencer than any other call you make. It's not about quantity, it's about the quality, but the problem is we stop way short of getting the quality out of the call because everybody out there is harping on quantity. You see, here's the reason that people don't make the calls to their database. It's because they're not getting any value from those calls. If you get value from every single call, how many of those calls will you make? Well, the truth is you'll make those calls all day long because you're getting value out of them. You love them because you're getting great stuff. Why do you think I love making calls? It's because I know I'm going to get value out of them, right? So now let's speak of value. All right, so let's close the door on that, right? So any overarching comments or review from Raw, and notice this says up here, type this up and post above your phone in your office. Now that's just a suggestion, but I had R-A-H, like Raw, above my phone for 10 years. I mean, anytime like I got on the phone or before I made the call, I was like Raw. You know, I need to look at Raw. Now I do it naturally. I mean, and just like any habit, you start out doing it unnaturally, and then you finally do it. Then you do it naturally, and then, ladies and gentlemen, you eventually get to the point where you do it supernaturally, right? And that's the thing about this is that it's easier than you think. You just have to do it. So 2 points I want to make. One is that you get value from these calls, so you're going to do more of the calls. The second thing that makes these calls so powerful, everybody's looking for a script, right? Give me the script of what to say to my database. But you know what? No one script works for every person. What this forces you to do is personalize and customize the call to the other person. And isn't that what these calls are all about? You have to think about the reason for the call. You have to think about what you are appreciative about the other person. And you have to think or get to think about how they may be able to help you. They may be able to connect you to a pastor or someone who owns a business where you could be the de facto relocation specialist or whatever, right? You know what? Your job as an influencer is to search out influencers. Your job as an influencer is to search out influencers. Your job is to find influencers. That's it. That's your only job. And by the way, influencers, our leadership, are the best business owners, are the ones who are the wealthiest. Here we go. All right, we're moving on. So, all right, so the advantages of Raw. I'm going to give you 7 quick ones, right? Why should every database, how many of you are just like, you're convinced? It's like, I don't even need to do these, and you can feel my passion. And I have to tell you, that's why I wanted you on this call, is I'm going, you'll find out, like later on when I do Feel, Felt, Found, and I do the halftime score call, and I do all these different, I do the Great Retrace calls, they're all Raw calls. They're all reason, appreciation, help. So, all right. So number 1, it makes you prepared for the call and proactive with your call, right? You're ready so that you seem more professional. It is purposeful. You are going to get value in the end. Purposeful calls are more powerful calls. You sound and are more professional. You know where you want it to go. So there's no or I guess I'll see you later, or gosh, thanks for the call, or you know, whatever it may be, right? You know where you want it to go. So it personalizes the call. This is one of the biggest things. It's personalization and customization. It's not like you're calling and say, hey, do you know anybody who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Oh, no? Okay. Hey, you know anybody who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Oh, hey. Oh, by the way, don't forget, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Click, right? Yeah. It personalizes the call. Bang. Okay, builds influence. That's really good English. It builds influence. I think I had it like it is influence, but it's like it is influence. It really is. But to ease into it, let's say it builds influence, right? You receive value. You are getting a connection or advice or help. 7th, you will make more calls. That's the biggest advantage of Raw, is now that I had a structure, I had a format, I had help up in front of me, I made more calls. I built more and better relationships, and I got more referrals. And guess what? Then I made more calls because I got more referrals. So those are the advantages of Raw. So we're going to rock right into perfect timing. How's that? I wanted to be there at 2:40, and it's 2:39 Eastern. So the January call, timing is everything. And speaking of timing, right? So your object for this call, and this is the January call. Please note that today's January 18th. You have 12 or 13 days to make these calls. Find out a goal, a challenge, a resolution, or an interest they hope to achieve this year, right? That's your goal. That's your goal with this call. So, however, just like everything, I'm going to help you, right? So, I can tell you that if you have vacations, plans, goals, projects, and a New Year's resolution, these are easier to ask, just so you know that, right? Can you converse around the word resolution, right? So here we go, right? So somewhere in your conversation, I want you to know I've had conversations where I only got to ask one of these questions, and I also had conversations where I literally asked every single one of these questions, and I feel like I have enough information to last a lifetime of the relationship with this person. Think about that. All right. So did you make a New Year's resolution? Did you make a New Year's resolution? You tell me in the questions box. Did you make a New Year's resolution? Yes, right? Okay, so if you say yes, what is it? Right? Yes, yes. My New Year's resolution was I was going to attend every single catalyst no matter what. Dear everyone. Right? So yes, lose weight, more referrals, database, perfect order, yes. Melissa, what was yours? Mary, what was yours? Right? Dan says no, it's all good. Cynthia Bear, I will try to answer your question at the end. Yes, get organized, set written goals. All right. So the answer is yes for a lot of you. So when you ask someone else, did you make a New Year's resolution, it can be pretty natural for you, right? So, and even if you didn't, Dan, I want you to know that other people did, right? It's just part of the vernacular. So, and honestly, what does this sometimes go to? It sometimes goes to goals, right? So a lot of you didn't make New Year's resolutions, you actually set goals. So here's the other thing, any big plans or big goals for 2016? Isn't that a great question, right? Yeah, so Dan, I got you with that one, right? It's like, did you make a New Year's resolution? No. Well, let me ask you this, you got any big plans or big goals for 2016? Yes, I do. Boom, we can have a conversation, right? So Dan, let me ask you, what are your goals? What are your goals for 2016? Yes, I really want you to answer that. You know, one great goal is to attend Catalyst every time we have it. Just like block it off. Yeah. So to achieve 260 loans in the year, which will pay off my mortgage, right? So that's good, right? So you have a big goal of doing 260 loans. So Dan, I would go on with the conversation, right? Is okay. So what kind of loans do you do? And then I would, all right, so what kind of people get those kind of loans? And I would have a conversation with Dan about his goal, right? So that I am more equipped to help him with his goal, right? See where I'm going with that? Lisa Booth is 24 closed transactions, Catalyst every session, and Miracle Morning every day, right? So those are great goals, right? So I could get really curious about those individual goals. So here's the question I have for all of you. Do you have any big trips or vacations planned this year? Like I'm going to Vietnam. I'm going to Vietnam. I'm going to walk in many places of the Vietnam War. I'm going to speak because my book was just picked up and the Vietnamese rights were purchased. And I am going to motorbike around, I'm going to hike around, and I'm going to see everything I can of Vietnam, right? So what about you? What big trips or vacations do you have planned this year? No, I really want you to answer that. And if I'm getting blank stares, get a vacation on your schedule, right? It makes you more interesting. right? All right, so New York City for my daughter's high school graduation. 25th wedding, oh, Lisa Booth, are you going to get to pick the 25th wedding anniversary trip location, or is he, right? Going to the Turks and Caicos in November. There you go, Dan. Planning a family cruise with 20 members. I'm going to Alaska and on a transatlantic cruise. Boom. Disney cruise for family and Chicago for Christmas. I love it. Grand Caymans and planning a trip to Italy. Well, here's the deal. For those of you planning, it's 2016. Let's get that done, right? Sharon Edelman, I'm doing the same thing. You're taking your 73-year-old mom to New York City. I'm taking my 79-year-old mom to Hawaii this year for her bucket list item. Transatlantic cruise to Barcelona, going to Vegas this December. How about June? What about June, right? I'll be in Vietnam at the end of May. Scott Kirk, very cool. I'll be there the first week of September. Wedding trip and taking the whole family. Yay, Kathy, congratulations. She is engaged. Going to Maui in August. Going to help my daughter with her Tucson after giving birth to her third child, right? North Rim, okay. So you guys are getting it, right? And by the way, was it fun typing in where you're going? Wasn't it fun to say, I'm going to go to Jamaica in April, Mon, right? Wasn't it fun talking about this? Well, guess what? When you're asking the other person about these things, they're going to smile. They're going to have fun, right? All right, so we're going to keep going. Now, in this case, I did check off a bucket list item last year. If you didn't, then don't say that, right? But I have to tell you, the number one thing that I have fun with is the bucket list conversation. Like, what would be on your bucket list, or what's on your bucket list? Finding out what people have on their bucket list is the most awesome thing in the world, okay? Number 5, as you look at the year ahead, what are you most looking forward to? What project most excites you for 2016? And sometimes they say, well, personal or professional. Well, either one, right? Whatever you want to share. Number 6, you guys have heard this many times before. I'm not going to go into it now, but what is your biggest challenge right now? I want to know what their challenge is. You see, I'm looking for a way to give massive value first. Okay, and then number 7, anybody you are hoping to meet this year, right? Anybody you are hoping to meet this year, or if you're talking to business people, it's, you know, what are your big clients, right? Who are the whales in your world? And maybe that's a better question to ask than anybody you're hoping to meet this year. But I have to tell you, leaving it open-ended like that, it's kind of a tweaky interrupt. They'll say, what do you mean by that, right? And then you just go down the road of like attracting a big client, or personally, is there someone you'd like to hope to meet, or that you'd like to meet, and so on and so forth. So the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions. When they fill this out, take notes and then take action. Is it a book, a person, a video? And I mean here follow-up, right? Is the follow-up a book, a person, a video, a Google search, a tool, a technique, an article, a magazine, an app? What is that follow-up, right? So, oh, wait. Let me see one. Okay, so the fortune is in the follow-up. I'm going to go 2 slides back. Okay, so now, what is an example of follow-up that we could deliver, right? So let's say, I used to want to meet certain people. I'm looking to meet someone since I'm with a new company. I get those, right? You guys are answering these questions for me without me even asking you to answer the questions. You see the power of these questions? So here's the thing. Let's say that I was going to, you asked me these questions, and I said, you know what, the thing I'm most looking forward to is a family trip to the North Rim of the Grand Canyon on July 4th. What are some follow-up things we could do for someone who answers with, they're going to do the North Rim of the Grand Canyon on the week of July 4th? Linda Austin is the fastest typer ever. Buy the book, right? Buy the book for someone. Send pics and specific info about the North Rim of the Grand Canyon. Is there something special about the North Rim? Right? I don't know. Do you know? I mean, is it different than the South Rim or the West Rim or the East Rim? And are there four rims? I think there's four rims to a canyon, right? Deb Sturgis, you're gonna have to explain that, right? What's the difference? Find some pictures of fireworks over the canyon. You said cannon, but I know what you mean. Find an article or connect them to someone who has been. How powerful is that? Send them info and a flag. Send videos with info on it. Research it and send them info, right? It's beautiful. It's a different view from the north, I guess. Buy them a selfie stick to take an awesome family photo on the North Rim. Deb Sturgis, do you have a selfie stick? Oops, yeah. Way better than the South Rim. All right. There's only a North and a South Rim. See, I didn't know that. There's a special parade. And Deb Sturgis says what really is cool is to have a super soaker, like the big water gun, right? This is brilliant, powerful. I'm getting it, Linda says. If have them, send personal pics or talk about your personal experience if you've been there. Like, obviously, I haven't. There's a glass walkway there over the canyon, right? Yeah, yeah. Deb is like, yeah, it's a water gun that soaks you. I guess there's a special water fight that is a big deal there, right? Which is good because you would not want fireworks and really dry air together. Best restaurant in the world with a great view, right? Now we're getting stuff, right? You see where we're going? Isn't this fun, right? So here's the deal. So those are all ways to follow up, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But I want you to know that something's going to happen, Tim Lamb. Something is going to happen during this call, and if not, afterwards from your follow-up. And they're going to say, how can I help you? And your answer, ladies and gentlemen, is referrals. And then take it from there. And we're going to work on this in a future catalyst. But the answer is referrals. People ask me, how can I help you? Like, Mayor, holy cow. Thank you so much. That was awesome. How can I help you? The answer is referrals. That's what I say. I say referrals, and then I cater the rest of the answer to them about what I know about them, right? The answer is referrals, and then I'm looking for an introduction, connection, or referral to an influencer or to someone they know, right? That's it. That's the secret sauce. I just gave it to you. They say, what can I do for you? The answer is referrals, period, or exclamation mark, depending on where you're from. All right. The fortunes in the follow-up. Okay, so this is Marguerite Crispillo. I did the January call. Please note when this is posted, March 9th of 20. And just so you know, the hardest part of me doing this presentation was narrowing it down to one post. That was I have hundreds of these from last year where people posted things like this, right? Flowers or pens or things I gave them, right? Blessings books or audiobooks or A Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents or whatever, right? So Marguerite says, a huge thank you to a man who truly walks his talk. Thank you, Michael J. Mayer, for this very thoughtful gift. You, my friend, are awesome. And notice some of these names. There are some heavy hitters in here and others who like this. So Heather Sims is like, love it. And I said, my pleasure, great conversation, and hope you thoroughly enjoy Spain. Ron Cedillo, who's also a speaker, right? Michael is the constant teacher through his actions, right? So all I did was I went to Amazon, and this is Rick Stevy's book, by the way, on Spain. All I did was find out that they were going to go to Spain, where her husband was from originally, and he's from South Spain originally, but hadn't been back. And so they were going to go visit South Spain, and they were going to also take a trip up to northern Spain. Well, I just went and got Rick Stevy's guide to Spain, and ladies and gentlemen, that book cost me less than $10. It might have been less than $5. I think it was less than $10 to buy it and ship it to Marguerite. Less than 10 bucks. Marguerite has referred me to many, many people, including a sponsor who paid $5,000 for an event, right? So I spent 10 bucks and received tens of thousands of dollars in rewards. So, and this is just one example. I had all these examples, and it's like it's going to take me an hour, but you get it, right? Tell me you get it. Do you get it? Tell me you get it. Yeah, I get it. Yes, I get it. Absolutely. I get it. I get it. I get it. Get it big. Got it. Big time. Epiphany. I like that word. I get it. Make it special. Yeah, got it. Love it. Yes, I get it. I got it. Get it. Good. Gone. All right. The fortune's in the follow-up. Yeah, it's fun. It took me 5 minutes, right? So here's your action items. Is make 10 raw calls this week. Here's your challenge, right? And some of my private coaching clients have heard this, and they're going to hear it again. Your job is to get 10 people this week. Listen to me. Okay, you're going to make 10 raw calls, and you're going to make 10 January calls. Just so you know, those are the same thing. It's actually just 10 total calls. You like how I did that? Huh? All right, so 10 calls, and your job is to get at least 3 people to ask you, how can I help you? Your job is to give so much value that they say, how can I help you? And you're going to answer with the word referrals, and then you're going to take it from there. And maybe you just answer with the word referrals. Okay? That's it. That's your job. Out of the 10 calls, you're going to give so much value, or these could be follow-up, right? But your job this week is to give massive value first in such a way that they say, how can I help you? And we're going to analyze that at the next one, at the next Catalyst, February 1st. You're going to follow up with power notes, Amazon book buys, Google searches, friends of yours who have been there and experienced it, right? So I'll see you on, by the way, any questions? We actually have 3 minutes left. Any questions on anything we covered today? Cynthia Bear asked a question earlier about how to get the introduction to the influencer, right? So let's say they say, so you're like, oh my gosh, that landscaper, he sounds familiar. That's Mike Watkins, the landscaper, right? Yeah, he's awesome. So let me ask you this. So who connected you with Mike Watkins? Who connected you to landscaper? Dave Sampson. Dave Sampson. Now that sounds familiar. How do you know Dave Sampson? Well, Dave Sampson is at my club, and we play tennis together all the time. And you know, I was just happened to be talking about it. He could not say enough great things about Mike Watkins. That's awesome. So let me ask you, what does Dave do? Dave is an attorney. Oh, wow. I'm always looking to grow my referral network with great people. Would you do me a favor? Would you mind giving me the information for Dave and Mike? I would love to call them, contact them, and see how I can help them, see if I've got referrals for them. Are you okay with that? So that's where I would go with that. Great question, right? I'm looking with the idea that I may have a need, or I may have a person in my network who has a need for those people's services, right? I have started sending journals to referrals. Linda Austin, are your people saying, "Gah, I wish I had a journal"? If they're not saying, "Gosh, I wish I had a journal," then quit sending them journals. Linda, I love you, but I'm telling you what I'm saying, right? This is about what they want. Now, if they are saying, I'm going to the north rim of the Grand Canyon, and you send them a journal that on the front of it, it has a picture of the north side of the Grand Canyon, and you put a little note in there that says, one of the best things you could ever do is journal about your experience at the north rim of the Grand Canyon, then that makes the journal more powerful. What are the 3 imprinted promotional items that you've used in real estate that you'd recommend the most? Okay, so good question. 3 imprinted promotional items. Does business cards count? That's a good question. The answer is I hadn't thought of it very much. We very rarely do standardized imprinted promotional items for anything. Is that good? I know that's a crappy question, but here's like, okay, so what are you looking for? A promotional item is something that you want to give to someone, right? So here's the thing. I like the thought, but I'd rather you take the money instead of genericizing it and giving it generally. Why don't you take that money and do the follow-up from these phone calls that is specific, customized, and personalized to the person? Right? So, and I don't mean to be harsh on some of these questions, right? What I don't want to do is discourage questions, but what I want to do is I want to encourage you to spend your money in ways that get you referrals. I want you to encourage you, right? And listen, you know, I think it's, Kathy's call and suggests, hey, coffee mugs are great if you're connecting with customers over coffee, but it's like, I don't need I'm the biggest coffee lover in the world. I don't need another coffee cup. But here's what I'm going to tell you. If you asked me about Vietnam and you said, what are you most nervous about when it comes to Vietnam? I would say, listen, part of this trip is motorbiking across some pretty rough terrain. I had a pretty gruesome motorcycle wreck when I was growing up. I was not hurt, but it did scare me very much, to the point where I haven't ridden a motorcycle since. So it's one of those, and then you go, you know what you ought to do? I have a friend who can help you get back in the swing of things, of riding a motorbike and even doing some dirt biking to practice for your trip at Vietnam. And I would go, I love you forever. That is much better than a coffee cup, and it's free for you. Okay? Listen, I'm, Kathy and Sharon and Linda, please take it the right way. I love you. I only want what's best about you, or for you. You get it, right? So, how we doing? How we doing? Everybody good? All right, we're at 3:01. I promised I was going to end at 3, but it's 3:01, and I love you. And doggone it, we can go an extra minute. Quality over quantity. All right. So, everybody, that's the Catalyst call. I really appreciate you. I will see you on February 1st at 2 p.m. Eastern. I can't wait. Please be on that call, right? I mean, focus on these Catalyst calls. Focus on being, I cannot do any better for you. I can't give you a better or bigger gift than raw calls and the January calls right now. The January calls don't work in September. They don't. They work right now. Get on the phone, make the calls, smile, have fun. You're the best. Everyone loves you. Everybody wants to refer you, and you deserve referrals. You've earned them. Go make it happen. See you on February 1st.